All right, so for this video, we're going to cover systems of nonlinear systems of equations here. So we're going to talk about nonlinear systems of equations. So we could be talking about circles, parabolas, ellipses, that type of thing. We're going to be solving a couple of examples using the substitution method. Then we're going to go through a couple of examples using the addition method, also known as the elimination method. Now, the thing about solving nonlinear system of equations is previously when we were talking about linear systems of equations, you had one of three situations. They either crossed at one point, they crossed at no points because they were parallel, or they shared infinite amount of points because they turned out to be the same line. But now we're going to talk about nonlinear systems. So we could be talking about parabolas crossing with a circle, which could cross at 2 points. There's a chance they could cross at 4 points if they cross like this. There's a chance they could cross at no points at all. And then what if we have an ellipse and a circle and the different ways that they can overlap? So those are some of the situations that we're going to be talking about where we can have no solutions. We can still have one solution, when they're right up to each other like this. We can have two solutions, four solutions, all sorts of different options. So we need to figure out, based off of our actual work, how do we know which of these situations we're talking about? How many different points, how many different overlaps do we have for our functions? So let's go ahead and jump into it using the substitution method. One of the first things that you want to look out for when you're using the substitution method is scan both of your equations. And what you want to go for is you want to pick the equation that has a coefficient of a 1. Now, if I look at my coefficient of x here, that is a 1x squared, a 2 in front of the y, 3 in front of the x, and a 1 in front of the y, or a negative 1. It doesn't matter what sign it is, plus or minus. You're just looking for a 1. So I have a 1x squared and just a 1y. I'm going to go for the 1y just because, again, it's linear. It's a simpler variable here, whereas this one is raised to the second power. So I'm going to go with the 1 with the lower power here. So I'm going to solve the bottom equation and solve it for variable y. So rearrange it to its y equals, which means I'm going to start by subtracting 3x on each side, dropping down that negative y on the left, and now I have a 9 minus 3x on the right-hand side, or negative 3x plus 9 is perfectly fine. Now, I do want to get at a y, and I have a negative y, so let's go ahead and divide out that negative, which is going to give us y is equal to a negative 9 plus 3x. Once you have one of your equations solved for one of the variables, since I now do know that y is equal to negative 9 plus 3x, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take negative 9 plus 3x, I'm going to substitute it into y for the top equation. We haven't messed with the top equation yet, right? We've solved the bottom equation for y, and now we're going to take that and substitute it into the equation we did not use. So I'm going to drop down this equation. It was x squared is equal to 2 times y. But again, remember, y is negative 9 plus 3x. So plug that in for y, and then we have a plus 10 there at the end. After you've made your substitution, solve this equation. Before we can solve this equation, let's clean up the right-hand side and let's multiply that out. So drop down the x squared. This is going to give us a negative 18 plus 6x, and drop down that plus 10. Combine your like terms. So let's see, drop down x squared, negative 18 plus 10 gives me a negative 8 plus 6x. Now, if we have to solve this equation, the main thing that I'm focusing on here next is the fact that I have an x squared. And since I have an x squared, that tells me that this is a quadratic equation. And if I have a quadratic equation, what I'm doing here is I want to move everything over to one side of the equation. So all terms are on one side so that it's set equal to 0. This is called proper quadratic form. We want it in its proper quadratic form so that we can then try and maybe factor it, maybe throw it in the quadratic formula. I'm going to work on factoring this here. And if we work on factoring this, x times x gives us x squared. Factors of 8 that add or subtract to get 6 are going to be our 2 times our 4, with the minus on the 4 and the plus on the 2. If you need to go back and refresh factoring, I have many, many videos over factoring. Pause this video, go refresh some of that. But otherwise, once you have your quadratic equation factored, remember that zero factor property, split your factors up, set them each equal to 0, and solve those mini equations. For the one on the left, I would subtract 2 on each side to give me x is equal to negative 2. For the one on the right, add 4 to each side, giving me that x is equal to 4. The fact that I got 2 different x values, what that tells me is as of right now, I am looking at having 2 different solutions. One where x is a negative 2, one where x is a positive 4, based off of my work here. So then typically when you find one of your variables, what you're going to want to do is go back up to your original system here. You can pick either one here, or you can pick the one that we rearranged right over here. That's the one that I like to plug into. Plug in a negative 2 for the x, simplify this, get a y. Plug in a 4 for the x, simplify this, get a y. Finish out your points. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the negative 2. Which gives us y is equal to negative 9 plus 3 times negative 2. Well, that gives us a negative 9 minus a 6, which is a minus 15, giving me the point minus 2 minus 15. Plug in the 4 into the same equation. That's going to give us y is equal to negative 9 plus 3 times a 4 this go around. Negative 9 plus 12 is a positive 3. So that completes the point 4, 3, giving me my 2 points here that represent the solutions to this system. These 2 points is where these 2 equations here would cross if we were to graph them. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the second example here. I'm also going to solve this one using substitution. So if I'm looking at the top or the bottom equation, the top one looks a lot easier to me. They each have a variable of a coefficient of a 1. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to add the y to the other side. It's going to keep x on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, I'll have that y plus 3. That means in the bottom equation, I'm going to take this y plus 3, and I'm going to plug it into x there. That's going to make it look like x, which is y plus 3 minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared is equal to 4. Now, this is the equation that we need to solve. So before we're able to solve this equation, let's simplify the inside of these parentheses first. We have a 3 minus a 2 there, which is just a 1, leaving us with y plus 1 squared, and then drop everything else down. We're going to solve this equation, so we do need to square both of these binomials out. Mental math way of squaring them. Take the first thing in your parentheses and square that. Y squared is y squared. Take the 2 different things in the parentheses, multiply them together. 1 times y is y, double that, so we get 2y. Square the second thing, 1 times 1 is a 1, and there you go. Square the first, multiply double, square the second. Do the same thing for the second set of binomials. Square the first, that gives us y squared. If we multiply, that's 3y. Double that, that is 6y. Square the second thing, 3 times 3 is 9. And I'm going to go ahead and subtract this 4 to the other side so that everything is on the left-hand side, and I can go ahead and work on combining like terms here. Y plus y gives us 2y squared. 2y plus 6y is 8y. 1 plus 9 is a 10, minus 4 is a 6. We have a GCF of a 2. Everything has a 2 in common. We can divide out that 2, giving us y squared plus 4y plus 3 is equal to 0. All right, so multiply everything out, combine like terms, group it all together, and it actually just leaves us with this trinomial here. This is also a quadratic equation. We have that y squared there. Everything is already over on one side, set equal to 0, so we could go straight to factoring. Y times y is y squared. Factors of 3 that add or subtract to get 4 is 1 times 3, with everything being positive. Zero factor property. Split your factors up, set them each equal to 0, and solve those equations. subtract 1 on this side here, and y equals -1. Subtract -3, and we get I'm subtracting that 3 gives us y is -3. So for this one here, I see that I have two different y's. So one of them I have y is a -1. The other one I have y is a -3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those two values, go back up here, plug them in, and calculate that. So I'm just going to drop that equation down over here. We had the equation x is equal to y plus 3. Plug in a -1, simplify that. If we plug in a -1 and simplify, we get x is 2. So when y is -1, x is 2. Do the same thing, plug in a -3. X is equal to a -3 plus 3 then, and that's going to give us x is equal to 0. Plug that into your point here, and that gives us our two solutions for this example here, which means if we're looking at this top equation is a line. This bottom equation here is a circle. So a line and a circle, since we're given 2 points, it does look like they would cross and intersect looking something like this. With those 2 points would be these interactions right over there. Now, if you are able to look at equations and know the general shape of it, it does help a little bit in these cases. But again, we don't know exactly how these are going to intersect unless we actually graph them or unless we actually solve them out. This top equation over here is an ellipse. The bottom equation is a circle. So we are at most looking at 4 different solutions. But again, these could be completely separate and not intersect at all. So we need to go ahead and run the work and see which one of these situations we are talking about. Now, for these 2 examples, we are going to use the addition method, which means our goal is to add both of these equations up in the hopes that something cancels. Now, if I take 4x squared plus 1x squared, that is 5x squared. Those did not cancel. Y squared plus y squared is 2y squared. Those did not cancel. And if neither of the variables cancels from the beginning, that means we do need to do a little bit of tweaking to our equations here. Remember, in order to get them to cancel, we need something like a 3x squared and a -3x squared, an x squared and a -x squared. We're looking for opposite numbers. Same number, different sign. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this top equation. What I'm actually going to do is multiply it by a -1, because I see I have a positive y squared here, a positive y squared here. If I make one of these negatives, it'll be -y squared plus y squared. And if I added those together, I would get 0. Now, I can't just change y squared. I have to multiply the whole equation. So multiply the whole equation by -1, giving us -4x squared minus y squared is equal to -13. So taking that top equation, multiplying it by -1 gives us this. Add it to the other equation. 1x squared plus -4x squared is a -3x squared. Y squared plus -y squared is 0. That eliminates, that cancels. That's exactly what we want. 10 plus a -13 is a -3. Solve the remaining equation. Divide each side by a -3, and x squared is equal to 1. Take the square root of each side, and x is equal to a plus or -1. So based off of those 2 solutions, it looks like x is going to be a +1 and x is going to be a -1, so 2 separate points. So let's go ahead and take those 2 points. We're going to plug them in. I'm going to use the second equation here. The x squared plus y squared is equal to 10. And let's go ahead and plug in a +1 and then a -1. Now, if you plug in a +1 or a -1, notice the same math is going to happen here because we get 1 squared, which is 1. If we subtract that 1, that leaves us with y squared is equal to 9. And if we take the square root of each side, we get y is equal to plus or minus 3. But if I plug in a -1, that's going to square out to a +1, just like the other one. And we're now left with the same math. 1 plus y squared is equal to 10. We would subtract 1 on each side and get y squared is equal to 9. and then take the square root of each side and get y is equal to plus or minus 3. What this means is that when x is a positive 1, which we plugged in here, when we plugged in a positive 1, we got two different answers. We got a positive 3 and a negative 3. What that means is when we plugged in a positive 1, we got a positive 1. But when we plugged in a positive 1, we also got a negative 1. So we had two different solutions for this x value. So instead of it being just this 1 point here, this 1 point doubled into 2. We plugged in a positive 1, got two different answers. That's two different points. But then we plugged in a negative 1. And when we plugged in a negative 1, the same thing happened. So when we plugged in a negative 1, we get a positive 1 and a negative 1. So we actually have four different solutions to this example here. Let's see what happens in our last example here. In our last example, one of the things that we need to take a look at here is that our equations are not in proper form. In order to do the addition method, also known as the elimination method, you want your equations to be in standard form. Standard form is this right here. ax plus by is equal to c. Our bottom equation is in standard form. We have our x plus our y is equal to our number. Our top equation is not. So what we need to do is we need to rearrange this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract x squared to the left-hand side so that I have negative x squared plus y is equal to 3. And now I have an x plus a y is equal to a number. So rearrange it in the proper form. Take the bottom equation and just drop it down. That one was already in the proper form. No need to mess with it. Now let's go ahead and add these equations. Negative x squared plus x squared disappears. Be careful here. You cannot take a y plus a y squared. They are not like terms, right? They're not the same. Y is not the same as a y squared. Just drop these down. Drop down the y squared. Just think of it as y squared plus nothing over here is still a y squared, so drop that down. Y plus no y's here is still just a y, so drop it down. Is equal to 3 plus 9, which is 12. Because of that y squared on the left, that means we have a quadratic equation. And if we have a quadratic equation, we move everything over to one side, set equal to 0 so that we can factor and solve. Y times y gives us y squared, and a 3 times a 4 gives us a 12, and subtracts to a 1. Plus goes with that 4, and minus goes with that 3. Use that zero factor property. Take each factor, set them equal to 0, and solve those mini equations. Adding that 3 to each side gives you a y equals 3, and subtracting that 4 to each side gives you a y equals negative 4. Now, just like we've been doing, so once you have your variables, your first variables, back substitute. Take those and plug them in order to find what the x values are. So as of right now, we got that y is a 3, and we also got that y is a negative 4. Let's plug that in. I'm just going to drop down the top equation here, and let's go ahead and plug into that. Plugging in my first y, which is a 3, all right, gives me this right over here. So if I subtract 3 on each side, we do get that x squared is equal to 0. Taking the square root of each side gives us that x is equal to 0. So when y was 3, x is 0. Do the same thing, but take negative 4 this time and plug it in. If I take negative 4 and plug it in and solve and do the same thing, subtract 3 on each side. That gives us that x squared is a negative 7, which means when we go to take the square root of that, we are taking the square root of a negative number. We do not want imaginary numbers in this world. We're not talking about graphing in the complex world, so we do not want imaginary solutions. So that means we are actually going to cross out this point here. We do not have a real value for this one here, which means our only solution is the 0, 3.